Welcome back to Ignition GT. So before the break, Lindsay unpacked BMW's bewildering model lineup and gave us her impressions of one of the niche models in the range. Now, of course, time to find out what our guests think of BMW's refreshed 4 Series. Joining us in studio, Roger McCleary, nice to have you back. We've also got Matthew Canna and Jonathan Adams. You guys have been here before, first time in the new studio.
It is, I had to find it.
You've been avoiding us or what?
Very smart studios.
See, we bring you back for the smart cars, Roger.
Sometimes making good money.
Ah, yes. Not ignition.
No, and ignition, for sure.
If we get all the derivatives wrong, that's okay. We're not going to restart this because I think most consumers get it wrong and confused as well. Matthew, let's start with you.
Yeah.
Do you understand where the 4 Series fits in and who the consumer is and how it differs from the 3 Series?
It's a bit of a yes and no. So I know where it is. If you want a 4 Series, you want something that's sexier than a 3, but then the 4 makes a 4-door version of the 2-door version of the 3-door version that it comes from. So it's so if you understand that the 3 Series coupe back in the day, the E90 shape, that was the sexier version of the 3. But now to branch off and do this completely makes a bit of sense, but it makes confusion when you start making Grand Coupe and then this and then that. So it's a mouthful.
It's competitive out there, Jonathan. I mean, as much as we can sit and give BMW a hard time, I know I did when they launched the 4 Series. I mean, Audi's been doing it with A5. I mean, A5 came out, wow, super sexy car. Then a 4-door version of it, which I don't think anyone really buys. You know, so like typical of all Germans, they kind of just copy each other, don't they?
No, of course. And I don't really care about all of those numbers and what means what and where it came from. At the end of the day, it's a car that sells. We can see that selling like hotcakes overseas. They sell more of the Grand Coupe. And here, I mean, I suppose true to South African market form, we never really know what's going to work. Here, the Coupe is doing better. They've sold over 5,500 of them since 2014. And I think it's much better looking than the 3. I'd buy one over the 3 any day. And if you take the 440, for example, and put it up against its competition, which is a C43 AMG Mercedes-Benz or the Audi S5, you can actually get into that market 60 to 70,000 rand cheaper. So for me, I think for once on the price point at that end of the segment, I think they've done really well, and I'd buy one. I think it's sexy, and they've filtered down the interior from the 7 and the 5, so you got that infotainment system. I think it's a good-looking car. I'd buy one. I don't know about you guys.
Roger, look. What Jonathan's saying is true. I like when you talk about what they're selling in Europe, because we know the Europeans, there's a thing called common sense. So they buy a car for practical needs, which is why the Grand Coupe would work. They would buy that because of the boot lid and the way it opens and more practical. But South Africans like sporty or they like safe. So your 3 Series still outsells everything here, and you can see why. I don't want to ask you what you would buy.
I'm going to tell you.
Tell me.
A 4-door, because I reckon the parking spaces in Joburg are far too small, and everybody's back. These 2-door cars hit other people's cars.
Okay.
I'd buy a diesel, and I've only got 19 models to choose from. I mean, 19
I know you've got a whole page there, Roger. Is that? I mean,
no, listen, hold on.
Is that just 4 Series?
Plus, 19 plus 4 M series M's. I mean, I think from the German point of view, never mind they copy each other. They don't copy. They watch each other like hawks. And you brought Audi brings out a 4-door. We got to be there. They watch each other, and for different markets around the world.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think they give you a good word. He starts at 600,000, goes up to 900,000. You start at 420. I like the diesel personally. I think it's nice and talky to drive. Their gearboxes are nice. Beautiful car. I'd have a 4-door every time. Whether it's called a Grand Coupe, because that came as a bit of a shock. We thought, well, what's a Grand Coupe? Oh, it's the 4-door. That's different. But try and name cars today.
No,
the clever one is to have numbers, like Merc, and they all do, the Germans.
Well, we've seen Audi's just done that now. We'll go through that at another show.
Yeah.
How they've actually now changed their model lineup. So you don't have a 2-litre TFSI anymore. It's a 30, a 45, or a 60, or 50. Who knows? That's a whole other show.
I've said the guys also with engines. I mean, they go from 2-litre, and they got those beautiful big 3-litre motors, and they're lovely motors. I say to the guys out here, don't even put the engine size on the back of your car anymore. It doesn't matter. They dial in what they want. These cars will all do 250 k's an hour because they're controlled in Germany, and it depends what's in your pocket, how much you want to spend. And I just think they look gorgeous. They really do.
Matthew, I want to break, because like what Roger was saying there. I mean, there's actually a lot of difference between the 3 and the 4. Whether you're going 2-door or 4-door 4. It is appealing to a different consumer. It's a guy that's probably a little edgier, more image conscious, I suppose. they've also positioned it as a sportier drive.
Yeah.
Is it firmer? I mean, I know they've refreshed the suspension, they've changed the response rates on the steering. So it is a sportier car to drive. But then you've got a 2-litre petrol and a 2-litre diesel, which is hardly going to blow you away from a performance point of view.
Yeah.
Is that possibly where they should rather say, if you're going to go sporty, let's cap it at the performance engines and you pay a bit more for it, and that's what you're getting?
Yeah, with the 2-litre models, it's pretty firm as it is, and with you slap on M Sport and the 19s on it, on Joburg roads with potholes and run flats. So entertainment value, really, get yourself an M Sport. But I do agree with you. I think on models like the 440 or the 430i, something like that, you
makes
get
sense.
yourself an M Sport or something with sporty suspension. But something with a 2-litre diesel, it's a cruiser. You shouldn't actually have anything sporty because you're going to get irritated in traffic. It's just going to be too bumpy and you'll get irritated.
And that's a tough thing, Jonathan, because I think the petrol 2-litre is probably the one I would avoid.
Yes.
I haven't driven. I've just heard some mixed reviews in terms of once the initial torque is gone, there's actually nothing. It's pretty flat. The diesel makes the most sense, but then, like I've said to Matthew now, I'm just worried about that quality of drive from a day-to-day perspective. I want the looks. I want the practical boots. I like that. I can load stuff in better. But do I want to chop and change? No.
No, not really. I mean, for me, in that sense, I'd probably go buy the Audi because it would be the most comfortable for me. And I've owned Audis. But in that sense, why buy the 420D then just buy the 440 or the 430? Because those engines, I mean, I know the 430 is still a 4-cylinder, but that 3-litre 6-cylinder, it's a beautiful engine. I mean,
you spent a lot of time there. I don't think anyone else got to drive it.
No, but that's the one to buy. And then you can make the most of it, and then you expect that kind of a ride, and then you realize that you've actually bought the right thing.
You look at, I think there's about an 80k difference between the equivalent 3 Series into a 4. Justified? Are you getting enough difference from a styling perspective to warrant that, or are they too scared to bring it too close to a 3 Series price because maybe more people do the jump?
Actually, no, like that price difference just makes you think about the kind of cars that you are going to get. But if you put the 2 and 2 together, 3 is super boxy, and it's the 3 we know, it's bread and butter. It's BMW's bestseller. It's sold thousands and thousands every year. But if you want sexiness and if you want to justify spending, I want to look better than the guy I pull up to next to the traffic light, I'm going to get the 4.
Put a price tag on that.
Yeah, exactly. Because we all know it's not about track or lap times. It's about, do I look better than you at William Nickel?
Yeah.
Then that's the truth.
Those colours, I mean, I know they're unique to the 4 Series range for now. I mean, that Snapper Rocks blue, whoever's part of BMW's design team who's surfed in Australia, because that's where it comes from. It's absolutely amazing. That colour in certain light is incredible, and so is the sunset orange.
But it won't be standard.
Well, obviously not standard, but you've got to tick that box. But it's an incredible colour.
What is the blue called?
Snapper Rocks blue.
Do you think getting names for cars is bad? And now names for
exactly.
Can't I just go for blue?
Just go for blue or orange. Yeah, but
guys,
it is lovely, I must
say. Out of time, just quick final thoughts. There are some choices here. You've mentioned A5. We know there's Merc, which I mean also making super sexy. The minute it goes through the 2 doors. Just think across the range. Is this still the car to buy if you're looking in the 4 Series segment? Matthew, is there somewhere else you'd go?
I'd stick with Beamer. The price is very good. That B58 engine of theirs in the 440, absolutely superb. But I wouldn't get the metal folding roof. There's no space in the boot. So for me, it'll be 440i Coupe. Non-M Sport, because ride quality is a thing.
Nice.
I think previously I would have chosen the Audi, but this facelift, just in terms of the aesthetic, the LED lighting, the subtle bumper changes, the tech on the inside, the interior needed a bit of an update.
Refresh,
I think now I'd probably have to go with you. I'd go for that 440 just because that engine is smooth as silk.
See how much money these oaks are. You
and I, Roger, are going 420Ds.
Yeah, I'm going for the little spark. There's just one point I want to mention quickly. Is the amount of equipment they put on these screens now. You need a manual to read through. You only, I think, once you've got it, you do it once or twice. But you've got it and you've paid for that too.
Yeah, but look, I'm glad that sort of tech. Nice to see BMW's brought that in. Audi's obviously been leading. VW have it. You know, eventually no more rotary dial. I mean, there's personalisation, which is what cars are about. I can now personalise the way my dash looks, which is cool. Nice to have you here. Thanks, great comments.
Thanks, Marius.
Nice chat. Right, so as Lindsay mentioned, a Bucky has yet to join the BMW family, but a people mover is also conspicuously absent from the range. Not so for Mercedes-Benz, whose V-Class rules the roost when it comes to premium vans.
Mercedes-Benz products have carried numerical model designations for as long as most people can remember, so the names Viano and Vito always seemed a little out of place within the bigger product family. All of that changed in 2014 when the German company ushered in the V-Class. The message was clear: out with the old, commercially orientated van, and in with the plush people mover that's ready to take its rightful place among the company's passenger cars. We drove the newcomer at the local launch just more than 2 years ago, and we were left impressed by its combination of MPV versatility and luxury sedan refinement. We reckon the designers have done a commendable job of endowing the V-Class with the desired upmarket look, and we're not the only ones. In 2014, it won the coveted Red Dot Award for product design, impressing the judges with its elegance and sportiness. It's the same story with the latest model, the gaping chrome grille and intricately designed headlights being reminiscent of those on Mercedes-Benz saloons. The rear is equally sophisticated, if a little upright, while the steeply raked windscreen gives the V-Class a sleek, aerodynamic profile. The interior can accommodate up to 8 occupants, depending on the specified trim level. And once you climb aboard, you're surrounded by most of the trappings you'd expect in one of its sedan siblings. There is only one engine in the V-Class lineup, a 2.1-litre turbo diesel, but don't let that deter you. With varying power outputs ranging from the 100 kilowatt V200D to the V250D, which has a generous 140 kilowatts and 440 newton meters of torque, there's sure to be a V-Class for every application. Starting from about 800,000 Rand, the V-Class offers surprisingly good value for money. But a word of warning: be careful when ticking those option boxes, or you could find yourself spending S-Class money in no time at all.
Don't go away, because after the commercials, I chat to ABSA's Nilasiwe Beloy, and Tumelo drives the eagerly awaited VW Amarok V6 TDI.